killed in Kent State University. She was not, she wasn't an anti-war protester, she wasn't pro-war, she just happened to be walking a little autistic boy back through the grounds of the university when the Kent State Police attacked the students who were demonstrating the Vietnam War. Sandy had been helping this little autistic kid to speech therapy during her lunch hour. Isn't it incredible that Sandy was shot through the throat and she lost her life? That's incredible. But do you know, friends, Sandy, that song, I play it now because there are millions that are labelled like Sandy, collateral damage. The wars that are being fought today are not being fought by soldiers in battlefields. They're being fought in people's cities and high streets and in their homes. And it's not on. Not in my book it isn't. 1 million people died in Iraq. That is sacrilege. So I sing Sandy, but I sing it for everybody.
What brings you here?
What brings me here?
What brings you here in the medium of music?
I joined the anti-war movement in 2001 after 2 days after President Bush launched his war on terror, because I could see then it was going nowhere. I come from a background, I've had 12 years in the Royal Navy. I was proud of my service in the Royal Navy. It was a time when we were tackling the issues of apartheid in South Africa, and I sailed into Cape Town on a ship there where I was proud to go ashore in uniform because we had black guys, coloured guys on our boat, and we were standing shoulder to shoulder with them, shoulder to shoulder with Nelson Mandela at the time he was in prison. But we're not today, are we? We're standing shoulder to shoulder with a Zionist regime that's, persecuted the Palestinians. I wear the Palestinian flag because they've been persecuted all my life. I was born in 1949, 1948 they had their country stolen off them, and every year they've been Palestinians killed and land stolen and homes bulldozed down, little kids. It's not on.
What can be done? What can people do? Do you think this process helps? Do you think?
Of course it helps. It keeps the opposition to the warmongers right high profile. They cannot get away with anything without us bringing it. It's not just today, but there are people hard at work in the background all the while pushing the media to report stories. We've got to keep doing that. I was talking to somebody and they said, has it really got to come to a nuclear bomb being dropped on Tehran before the streets of London are packed and nobody refuses to move and they demand change? I hope not. I hope that, somehow we can win through these demonstrations. We've been peaceful. Every demonstration we've come to in London since 2001, and I've come to most of them, they've all been peaceful demonstrations. We've cooperated. We don't want to be abused, though.
We won't keep you from music.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Just quickly, what do you think about the media?
The media, it could do better, my friend. It could do better, couldn't it? But the media is controlled. People are controlled, aren't they? The media is controlled. In a sense, what I could say about the media, I could say about every one of us. I could do more. My friends who are sat at home certainly could do more. It's no good just pointing at the media all the while. I think I think on the ground level, people go out like yourselves to get stories and put them to their editors and everything. If they're decided not to run them, it's not your fault. You've done your job. I don't point the finger at the media necessarily. Could do better though.
What would you say to people who are sitting at home and not here today?
Well, just come out and join us. Please come out. We need these streets. I'll let you into something. I was the first protester on February the 15th, 2003 to disembark from a bus at 4:45. I got out here that morning. I was the first protester of the 2 million that marched in London. And I'm proud to say that. The best thing I ever did was turn up that day, and I keep turning up. But please, we need millions back out on the streets again. My wife comes from Iran. She went home this summer. I've got a little niece in Tehran called Afra, 10 years old. I've never met her. I wonder sometimes whether I ever will meet her, 12 million people live in Tehran, and President Bush is stuffing nuclear bombs down their throats, aiming them and threatening them. Just for what? Because he wants to change their domestic their domestic government's policies. He wants to change the nuclear energy program. There's no evidence. He's put no evidence on the table at all that Iran has nuclear bombs, none at all. But we've allowed him. People have sat at home and allowed him to go on doing it. And Admiral Fallon has just resigned. You know, the man was against Iran. It's sending signals up to the world that, you know, come on, the man has got to be reeled in. We've got to demand better. I want to see people protection, not power projection. People protection, not power projection.
Do you think sitting at home not doing anything is violent?
It's not violent, is it? It can't go to that extreme because they're, you know, what does violence achieve? On any side, violence I don't think achieves much. It's got to be reason. I pray for compassion, enlightenment, wisdom. It's got to seep through from us. People here can see it. They can see that we can live in peace. You know, there's people from all countries, I should imagine, in the square today. And we can get on with each other. We can talk and work and share together. Politicians are greedy people. They're you know, not all of them, but we're being ruled by greed. You look at what's forcing the war is the war machine. This country is building 3 super aircraft carriers. Have come up from Portsmouth. What do we want them for? What do we want to project power? And if we project power, China will project power, Russia will project power, and we're back. Bush has taken us a full circle. He inherited a world where we were starting to see the end of the Cold War, and he's now pushed us back into a world where everybody is rearming again. It only leads to one thing: 6 days, 6 months, 6 years, 6 decades. At the end, it will. Has it got to be that? Or can't we see sense before then? Trillions, billions could be spent on sustainable living, cleaning up that gallery. The outside of it could look really lovely, with flowers and things. We could have a better world. We don't have to have a world of war. World without war is what we want.
Just very finally.
Go on.
You know that they spend the equivalent of the entire United Nations budget, yearly budget, on war, and it lasts war machine 9 days.
That's it, yeah. It's crazy. I heard it was the whole African aid budget, I heard, but that's
It's the entire United Nations
really,
budget.
well,
Spending on
it's crazy.
Afghanistan, lasts 9 days.
Yeah, well, I've written this. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I've written a song that I brought to the demo today. It's a hard one to sing in public, but it's got a line that, you know, they're fighting their wars whilst pot-bellied little babies lie dying in the dust. And that's what's happening, you know. They're not getting to the TV screens. Well, I'll try. It goes...
Thank you ever so much.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure. Thanks. What's that? On which?
We're actually for Gung Ho Media, but that's me. You'll find a link off my website.
All right, Paul. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Okay, I'll try and do the best with this. It's hard to sing it. It's a cold, cruel wind, hangs you out to dry. It's a cold, cruel wind that thinks you're fit to fry. But these lying politicians still say their war's a must, as pot-bellied little babies lie dying in the dust. It's a cold, cruel wind, and it cuts you to the bone. It's a cold, cruel wind, turning hearts of gold to stone, sucking out the truth. No more questions, no more whys, just projected postulations, politicians stuffed with lies. Ease off the peddling, you misers of war, you mongering profiteers, trying to settle up your scores, spinning fabricated